Hi, my name is Lindsay Pascio. I'm the Ag Business Development Marketing Specialist for Harvest New York. And I have along with today with me is my colleague Precious. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Precious Shabalala. I'm a food system specialist with Harvest New York.
Thanks, Precious. So today we're going to be talking about online marketing. This is kind of what we're going to be talking about, the different sections. We're going to talk about social media, email marketing, Google listings, search engine optimization and search engine marketing, websites, and AI. So the main ones we're going to talk about for social media today are just Facebook and Instagram. I think those are probably the most relevant ones that people use a lot. I know that people use also YouTube for some marketing. They like doing videos. But I know I have a farm myself. I own a lavender farm, and I use Facebook and Instagram all the time to market the farm. It's my primary marketing source. So when you think about social media, these are different questions that I get all the time, and I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on the next couple slides. Is what should I post? How often should I post? How should I manage multiple social media platforms, which has become way easier nowadays than years ago? Should I boost or not to boost? What does this boost mean? Free promotion. So looking at social media as it's a free promotion for your operation. How can I use social media for sales? How else can I use social media for my business? And then is social media really working for my business when it gets down to it? So what should I post? So I'd like to actually follow similar operations on Facebook and Instagram, and also like different unique operations than my farm operations. So I follow lavender farms from all over the world, but then I also follow businesses that I like, different wineries and breweries, to see what they're developing for social media content. And that's how I've been able to figure out what I want to be able to build over the years. And then when you're thinking about your postings on social media, is you're creating a story. I've run into a lot of customers that have said, I don't want to be on social media. I'm on social media just to borrow your business and figure out what's going on. So what I've done is kind of like develop a story over the time of like different things, activities that are happening throughout the season. If you're having any upcoming events, that's a great way to list those events on social media. New products. So every time I develop a new product, or just even want to highlight that product to remind people out there, I try to make sure I do a social media post for that. Thinking about if you have like any type of promotional sales, your operational hours, address. So sometimes when it comes down to my social media posts, I'll create, a post, but I always, if it's a U-Pick day, I make sure I include the operational hours of when it's happening, the address, even though, in Facebook, and also on Instagram, like you can post that information about your operation. People always ask, where are you located in the comments? So if you can try to put it at the beginning of the post, hopefully that will alleviate some of those back and forth messaging that you'll need to have to do. Any specific directions that you might have, like where parking is, anything that that you need to provide to the public. Like, do you allow pets on your property? Those type of things. Make sure you have quality photos, which I think pretty much nowadays everybody has some type of smartphone that has great photo capabilities. So that's becoming less and less the quality of the photos issues. Thank you. At the end of the season every year, I like to thank my customers for supporting the business. When the farm shop closes. Things to avoid are politics, controversial topics, poor reviews. If you get a poor review, is thinking about how you're going to handle that and respond to those poor reviews. One thing about this photo is rainbows, pets, kids, making sure you have permission to put kids' photos on there, but those are the things that people like sometimes like to see engagement. Cause I'll tell you, I get rainbow photos all the time over the mountains at my place. And that hits like a lot of interest on the farm. So how often should I post? So think of Facebook and Instagram as it's free advertising when it gets down to it. You want to make sure that you continue to keep your customers engaged. You want to think about how is this going to increase my sales? Being able to promote new products, promote different events you're having. So think of it in, some people are going to have farm operations that are open year round. So that's going to require you to like continuous year-round engagement. Some farms are going to be, the farm shop, the U-Pick operations, it's seasonal. Those at that time of the year, you're going to be definitely posting a lot more. So think of it when it comes down to it is when your farm shop is open, you're almost posting daily. And then if your farm shop is closed, your operations closed for the season, maybe you're weekly, monthly, just to have some type of engagement out there. It's important to kind of see when people are engaged, and there's analytics within Facebook, Instagram that you can look at to see when people are engaged into, liking your post, seeing your post. But usually it's in the mornings and the evenings, the first part of the morning when people get up, the evenings before people go to sleep, people have work and kids that they're dealing with during the day. So it's going to be those mornings, evenings where you'll see a lot of engagement. How should I manage multiple social media platforms? So what's been really nice about Facebook and Instagram with Meta Business, which is the company that owns this, those two platforms, is you're able to link both of those platforms. Years ago, we had to look at different online platforms to like help with scheduling, but they've been able to make this a lot easier for everyone. Okay, so scheduling and multiple post scheduling. So what is nice within the Meta Business Suite is that you can schedule your post. So if you don't, if you're not somebody who has, that extra time each day to be able to do this, you can always find like maybe one day or one day a month that you want to just like set out a schedule and schedule all your individual posts that you have for the next month. I've seen some great spreadsheets from people over the years that people have actually created actual social media post schedule of different topic areas to create like a story. So it all depends on how elaborate you want to be. I know from my experiences, when I know I'm going to be around on the farm, I'll sometimes take a bunch of photos of different things. And then I think about those photos and how I'm going to do a Facebook post just in case I'm, traveling for my full-time job, working for Cornell. So then I can be able to still post and there's some things, engagement going on. All depends of how organized you are when it comes down to scheduling and figuring out topic areas for your posts. Okay, so boost or not to boost. So usually when you do a social media post, they give you this option to boost or not, to boost. And this is like paid advertising when it gets down to it. There's definitely pros for it. It helps you find like your audience of like who you want to be engaged. It gives you boosting allows you to really feed into like what target people like, this is where I live in Keysville, New York. My audience that I had picked was from 18 to 65. There's also different terms that you can put in to help to engage your social media post. The one thing I always have liked about it, when I have done it over the years, is I'm located in Keysville, which is right there on the Adirondack Park, all of that green on the screen. There's not a lot of population in that area. So I'm able to move this circle around so I can decide where my target audience is going to be. And so, I always want to make sure I cover like Lake Placid area, because that has a lot of disposable income, a lot of tourists coming in, but then I can cover into Burlington. And then I even sometimes push it up north over the Canadian border to try to bring traffic down to the farm that way. And what's also nice is it gives you the idea of how much potential audience you're going to be based on the different parameters that you adjust in the system. You can also decide your advertising kind of based on a spending limit and number of days. You know, it goes from 0 up to whatever you want. Could you want to do hundreds of dollars if you wanted to do in advertising? It's, you know, if you're going to do this, maybe play around and see what's really going to work and track it to see if, you know, you do see increased engagement into your farm operation. One thing I like to always mention to people, some people don't like putting their credit cards in different online platforms. For years when I was boosting, I used to get gift cards. Just get a Visa gift card for $100, $200, and then use that as the credit card, putting into the system. Sometimes when it gets down to like $10, $20, it's a little wonky in the system, but you can use that, you know, it's a business expense, it's a marketing expense. You could go use that gift card to purchase something else for your marketing for your farm. Look at Facebook as free promotion. Have your friends that you're friends with on social media, have them spread the word, share it. You know, find ways of different ways to engage the customers when it comes down to it. So I've even like when our season's going from lavender to sunflowers, there's not a lot of sunflowers in the field yet. I tell customers, because they're like, can we go pick those sunflowers? Sure, you can go pick those sunflowers. I'll give them for free. Just do me a favor. Can you tag us and share that post that you have with those sunflowers you just cut to your friends, family, and that helps bring in engagement. It's kind of like free promotion, because otherwise there's not enough sunflowers in the field to really promote it. Open the sunflower field yet, but those sunflowers aren't going to be worth anything. So it was good that I, you know, in a week or so. So it's good to be able to just figure out ways that you can work with your customers. Always, you know, ask for customer to be able to do reviews of the farm. And then I think that one thing I've seen a lot of over the years is like the different raffles of, you know, if you tag, like, share, you get, you know, you go in for like a raffle of some farm-based product that you have. So that's a way to get more engagement. You can also use social media for sales. So I know that like Instagram has like their own like little shopping platform that you can use. So think about different ways that you can do engagements. You can also always just really, like, if you have an online store, put that online store page into your social media platform and just remind people, like, if you're closed for this season, you can still order online. How else can I use social media for business? So think about different, you know, if you're going to have any events on your property. So like example is like, you're going to be opening up for You Pick pumpkins. Maybe it's like a big event you're going to be doing. Create an event on social media, because it creates a reminder to people, because people will, you know, tag it and say that they're interested going, or they're going, and it'll pop up in their phone as a reminder, because not everybody is always very organized about putting things together, but sometimes people use the social media events reminder. So how can you see if social media is working for your business? So Facebook and Instagram have the ability to do analytics. So you can see how many people are on your social media page between certain dates. You can see like the demographics of who's really being engaged into your business. The demographics, I like to just turn back to like your business plan. That's part of your business plan, is having like that marketing demographics information. So you can always use that from social media to update your business plan. But there's a lot of tools within the analytics that you can use to help see how traffic is going on your social media page, and like especially the timing of the days. Okay, so now we're going to talk about email marketing. So when it comes down to email marketing, you always want to test your emails before sending it out. make sure you have permission to be sending emails out to people. Let's see. Why do you want to be receiving these emails? So always think about why people are wanting to be receiving those. Is it events? Is it advice? Is it like a discount? And make sure it's easy to subscribe to, and also unsubscribe if people don't want to be on that. Because I think all of us have been on, and probably some of these ones that are in my past email from a very long time ago. There's all these different places I would like to unsubscribe to at times. So just think about, being considerate to the people that are signing up for your emails. Make sure you have like consistent emails, a balance of what you're trying to promote, advertise for your farm. Think about how, if you're going to be sending emails out, how to simplify and make things easier for yourself. So finding an email platform that has, a nice template, make sure that you have, very simplified content that's, people don't have to dig around for why are you sending this email to me. Think about images, like how big those are, because not every server can be able to take as much of the information out there. I know, like with an extension, like we have like a limit about when we send an email out, how much is going to be able to go through. And if it's too big, it bounces back and we have to re-put it together. So think about how much space that you have to be able to send something out. And then if you're going to do any type of buttons in your post for your email, is make sure that it's like one main button, not a whole bunch of them, because you want to make sure this is very simplified. Make sure it's mobile friendly. Make sure you have a good subject line. Test, send times and dates, and then review and test before sending. Some of the email friendly platforms that I know people use are like Constant Contact, Google Workspace. Just think about the template, how many contacts you're going to be able to have. So some platforms, they have like limits and you have to buy up to. Make sure if you can test the platform out beforehand to see if it's going to work best for your business. And then of course the associated cost of how much this is going to cost your operation, and is this going to be worth it? One of the other thing too is I like to mention people is Google Business Listing. This is a great way to list your business online. I know when I'm looking to visit farms all the time, I'll do like a Google search, and it helps when I can actually easily find the farm. So I used Lavender Life Company. They're a lavender company in the United States. So what's nice about the Google listings, it's a free option. So I can see their address, their operational hours, their phone numbers, any types of questions or answers. Then they have an online shop. So they have all their little, all their products listed right here. And then you keep going down into the Google listings. I can see different reviews of their products, a little information about their farm, and then also profiles. I kind of cut this off, but I can see what they're using for social media for their farm operation. There's also, you can upload photos of your operation, your products, but then also people can take photos on your property and then share them to Google, just like when they want to do a Google review of your farm operation. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about search engine optimization and search engine marketing. So search engine optimization is like when you're thinking about when you're doing a search for a product, a farm, how can you get to that top of that search? So the first one that comes down, and it's a little tricky. I'd advise like doing a little, watching a bunch of different videos online, because there's a lot of information out here, but some things that I can think about to help, in your farm operation, the website, getting it to the top is really thinking about like the keywords for that's associated with that farm. So think about like 3 keywords. Make sure you build good content on your website. Allow people to link your website to theirs. By doing like cross-linking, it helps to pop your operation up to the top. So like in this area, I did one at my farm. So I looked it up, and then I could see who's linked into my farm. I could see like Adirondack Harvest has my farm, but on their site, the chamber has in the past, different like news articles. So that's all helped me. So when I go like Adirondacks and lavender, I'm like it's the first one that pops up when it gets down to it. The other thing too is you want to make sure that you have, and Precious is going to get more about like what you really need to do to develop a really good website. But for search engine optimization, you really want to make sure you keep people on that page, that they don't click on it and then pop back to like Google or Yahoo or whatever the search engine you're using. That you want to keep people on there and going from page to page. So you want to make sure you have good content, a good design of your website, and then also using unique images. So using your own images versus stocked will help with the process. I'm going to give an example is for Cornell Cooperative Extensions, our agritourism, our working group, we're able to develop an agritourism web page for everybody across the state. And initially when that popped up, it was like listed second, and we had a county that was listed above. So one of the things I started to do was go onto the webpage from my personal phone, my work phone, my personal laptop, my work laptop. And over time, by me continuing to jump onto that page and just click on like the Cornell agritourism one, it jumped us up to the top over time. And needed to it seems like when I was doing a search, I needed to have engagement to really push that through. The other thing is search engine marketing. So this is something that's a paid, a paid platform. I know Google has a program out there, I think in Yahoo, in which you could advertise with the company and you pay per click. So when I click on, let's see, Husqvarna or Steel Products, we'll be clicking on their paid advertising. They only get charged when I click on it versus paying for just the ad when it comes down to it. So I'm going to turn this over to Precious now.
Thanks, Lindsay. So creating a website is another crucial step in establishing an online presence for marketing your agricultural products, as Lindsay has somewhat precursed that. So the first thing that you should consider when creating a website is choosing a domain name. Make sure that the domain name is easy to remember, it reflects your brand, and it is relevant to your agricultural products. Also, it's important to use a reputable domain registrar to purchase and register your domain, which leads us to our next slide on selecting a platform. So when selecting a platform, make sure that you choose a website building platform that suits your needs and technical abilities. Popular platforms include WordPress. WordPress is usually flexible and it has a wide range of themes and plugins as well. You could also use Shopify. Shopify is specifically designed for e-commerce, and it makes it easy to set up an online store. You could use Wix or Squarespace, which is a user-friendly platform, which are user-friendly platforms that have drag and drop functionalities in them. Now, in choosing your design and layout for your website, you should make sure that you offer a clean and a visually appealing design. consider a theme that aligns with your agricultural products or your brand identity. For example, Lindsay has a lavender farm, so her theme could be more on the purple side or the color purple which is aligned with her farm. And make sure that it's easy to navigate with clear menus and categories or even search functions. Next slide, please. So one other important thing on your website, make sure that you have your contact information, which should be clearly displayed, which includes a contact form that has email addresses and phone numbers. And make sure that you respond to your customers. I don't know how many times I've used the contact form on a website and I never heard back from them. So I think in as much as it is important to include that contact information on your website, you should make sure that it's easy for customers to reach out to you with inquiries. Also, update it regularly. Next slide, please. So in designing your website, there are very important things that you should consider. The first one being security measures. You should make sure that the customer data and transactions are protected. Ensure your website has an SSL certificate for secure communication. So an SSL certificate is a digital certificate that authenticates a website's identity and enables an encrypted connection. So it stands for Secure Sockets Layer, a security protocol that creates an encrypted link between a web server and a web browser. So that way you know that if your customers put their credit card information, for example, it will be protected. It will not be sold in the dark web. Also, another thing to consider is to make sure that there is mobile optimization. I've used a couple of websites that are very difficult to use on a cell phone. And you should remember that not everyone, not all your customers or all the people that will visit your website have access to a computer. Almost everyone now has a smartphone. So you should make sure that your website is designed for is mobile friendly, so to speak. And also, legal compliance is very important. Familiarize yourself with legal requirements for selling agricultural products online, including labeling, shipping regulations, and privacy policies. Ensure your website is compliant with these regulations. For example, you need a direct shipper's license to ship wine to New York consumers. New York State wineries may ship up to 36 cases, no more than that. So you should make sure that you have all those legal requirements to operate, to have an online presence or to sell through your website. And one other thing, make sure that you test your website before launching. So I know of a story of someone who was launching, it wasn't an agricultural website, it was more on hair products. And they copied and pasted information from another website. While it's very useful to use someone else's work, you should make sure that you're not plagiarizing. They copied everything down to the contact person that they should contact. So if they had tested their website before launching that, they could have seen the mistakes and corrected everything that needed to be corrected. Also, it's useful for checking if your links are broken or not, and to test the purchasing process and fix all the issues that you should fix. Another important thing that you should consider is analytics integration. So set up analytical tools such as Google Analytics that will allow you to track visitor behavior on your website. So this data can provide valuable insights into your audience and help you make informed decisions for marketing strategies. Lindsay has alluded to that with regards to Facebook and Instagram and other social media, but it's pretty much the same concept, even when it comes to website. Yeah, if you incorporate Google Analytics, it will allow you to be able to see what's the best time, what's the time that has the most traffic, and what times of the month do people purchase, and to understand generally your consumer behavior. Lastly, you should launch and promote. Once your website is ready, launch it and start promoting it through various channels. Use everything that Lindsay has mentioned: social media, email, newsletters, etc., to drive traffic to your site. Can we move on to the next slide? So I will touch briefly on this because I don't want a lot of things to go over your head. But I think, as we all know, artificial intelligence is here and it is here to stay with it. We can either just let it pass by or use it to our advantage as producers, farmers, or people within the agricultural space. So using AI to market your agricultural product can enhance not only your efficiency, but your personalization and decision-making. We can leverage AI with the methods that we have mentioned before, like incorporate it into everything that we do. So you could use predictive analysis and demand forecasting, which can be pretty complex, but tools like Google Cloud Platform, AWS Forecast, or Microsoft Azure can be used to forecast demand. So this can help you for planning purposes. I must say that there is a little bit of a fee with these platforms that I've mentioned. And you could also use chatbots for customer support. You could integrate AI-powered chatbots on your website or social media platforms to provide instant customer support. So chatbots can answer common queries or assist with order tracking and engage with customers in real time. Lastly, you could use AI for personalized marketing. Utilize AI algorithms to analyze customer data and provide personalized product recommendations. You could also create targeted marketing campaigns based on customer preferences, their buying history, their buying behavior. You could use Google Analytics also, which is a very powerful web analytics tool that provides insights into website traffic, user behavior, and demographics. It can be used to analyze behavior. Or you could use the simplest form that you could use at this point. You could use there's the Google AI Bird Box, and you could use ChatGPT as well to just put in questions about your business, and it will give you ideas on how you could optimize that. Yeah, that will be all that I will focus on for website and AI. Now, Lindsay will open for questions.
Okay, thanks, Precious. I just also want to just mention is that the link where you find these videos posted, we have videos on like the basics of how to set up Facebook, how to set up Instagram, how to set up like a website, like, you know, really focused in on like what you really need to think about when building these different working on these different platforms, building a website too.